not yet met her, and I'm so excited because Sherilynn not only is a millionaire mama, she just wrote her first book. Who has it? I know we were talking about it in our chat today. I ordered it. I'm about halfway done with it, but she just wrote her first book. She is ambassador. She's double ambassador. Her husband's ambassador. Like, she is so successful. And so I am just so excited for all of you to get to hear from her and just get some wisdom and tips from her. So please make sure you've got your cameras on, you are being respectful of her time, and you are not sitting on your phone and not paying attention to her. And make sure you've got your Zoom journal out so that you can take all the notes, because she is going to probably blow your mind tonight. So Sherry, I am going to unmute you and you can go ahead and just share your story with everybody.
Aw, well, yay. Well, thank you for having me. And I never take it lightly, you know, when someone asks me to share with their team, because I know, for one, I'm very particular on who I have poured into my team. And so thank you for that, Cheyenne. And then just so you guys know, man, what an incredible upline you have. It's not every team that does these trainings and that, you know, where you get this kind of support. So just know it's easy, I think, to take it for granted a lot of times, what you have. And so just know you have an awesome upline that's, you know, leading from the front. And so you guys are truly set up for success. But okay, I'll share like a quick version of my story, because I don't know, you know, if you've heard it. Is there anyone in here, let's see, that's joined in the last 2 months? I always like knowing, like, is there anyone that joined in maybe July or August? If so, put it in the chat. I love seeing like who's like new, because a lot of times there's more new people on than we think. Okay, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, awesome. Wow. Okay, we got a lot. So you're probably like, I don't even know who this girl is. But so let's see. I'm Sherilynn Alcala, and I have been with It Works. I love that, a week ago. Oh my goodness. Okay. I've been with It Works for 6 years. And so my story goes when my daughters, they were 1 and 2 years old. I had 2 little girls that were both in diapers, and I stayed home. I was a stay-at-home mom with them. My husband and I, we both did, you know, what we were told to do. We went to college, we got our degrees. I have a degree in psychology, and then started having babies. And so it made sense for me to stay home and not pursue a career and take care of them. And so my husband was working, so we were living on a single income, like a lot of families. I don't know, is there any mamas in here? If you've got kiddos, put in the chat how many kiddos you have. And I know Cheyenne's, I'm like 12, so you guys might be young too, but I'm like, man, I wish I had this business when I was that age. I was working at Original Pizza until I got fired. So yeah, I'm like, I wish I would have been doing this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I see, yeah, there's a lot of mommies on here. Okay, so you know, like a lot of people, my husband and I, we didn't have debt, but we just lived paycheck to paycheck. We just kind of were on that hamster wheel life where it was just like, a lot of times there was more month than money. And I remember we, you know, sometimes have to use our credit card and then quickly pay that off when he got paid. But then we'd get to the end of that month and it was just, the cycle. We just couldn't get ahead. And I remember so many times thinking, this cannot be life. Like, is this it? Oh my goodness. Like, this is what you dream of, and you go to school and you do all the things. And we managed to not even have we didn't have student debt because we paid cash for my college. We got married really young. So my husband, actually, we made payments and paid cash for my college, but yeah, we couldn't save. We couldn't get ahead. You know, he was driving a car at the time. And I actually talk about this in my book. I think I tell the story in there, where I remember he had a 4Runner that was like a 2000 4Runner, and if you press the gas, it wouldn't accelerate. You had to pump it sometimes. So you'd randomly be driving and go to hit the gas and it wouldn't go. So you'd have to quickly pump it. Well, I had the babies in the car with me once trying to drive into the intersection, and I got out a little bit and it stopped and cars are coming, and I pumped and then got it. And I remember there just being like, okay, and after that, I never drove his car again. But like, that was our reality. Because I think people oftentimes look at maybe your chapter 10, but they don't see the ones that came before. So I don't know if you follow me on social media, but I know I get a lot of the like on Instagram, your life is perfect, or your kid, you know, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, first of all, I hate when people say that. That's not a compliment, because I never want it to seem like that, because it's not. And you definitely don't know the journey it even took for us to get to where we are. And it's still definitely not perfect. My kids were all 3 crying like 20 minutes ago, and I'm like, I'm failing. So, you know, but anyway, so I just say that just so you can hear like a little what life was like. But so we were just in that position. And I remember asking John if I could put our 2-year-old in dance class. It was $80 a month for a dance class. She was going to be turning 3 in August, and it was the end of June. And I was like, I really want to put her in a dance class. And he's like, how much is it? And I was on the phone with him. I told him it's $80. And he goes, babe, what envelope is that going to come from? We did not have the extra $80 for a dance class. And that was the moment when I realized things are so tight. Like I knew they were tight, and I was the queen of, resale. I would like set up my dining room and have people come in and do the Facebook garage sale things. And it's kind of weird. I had strangers come in. Like I'd be like, sale. And I was always taking my clothes to all the different, Plato's closets and selling stuff. And I was always hustling. But when we didn't have the 80 extra dollars, that's when I was like, I got to figure out something. So I remember praying, Lord, show me a way to make extra income. I don't know what to do. I have these 2 kids, but this is not the life I want. My parents always fought about finances, always debt. My dad was always stressed, and that's just not what I wanted. I didn't want that. And so not long after, it's funny how the Lord works, right? You pray for something and then he gives you it. And, I'm so thankful I was open-hearted and open-minded when it came. But I saw a girl I went to Bible college with posting about these before and after photos of the products, like belly pictures, and talking about this business. And I'll never forget sending her a message asking about it. And basically the rest is history. I saw her posting on Instagram. I never liked her photos. I never commented, but I was watching. And it was the products that actually intrigued me. And can I tell you, I was going to become a loyal customer and then ask for forgiveness later, because we definitely didn't have the money for the wraps. But I was like very compulsive. I still am compulsive. And so like, one of those people that like buys it and is like, oops, shoot, and then like returns it. That's what I used to always do back then. Like, he's going to divorce me. Let me return the shoes. But I was going to become a customer, ask for forgiveness later. And she said a question that changed my life. And I actually talked about it on that DT recruiting boot camp that's going on the other day when I was on it. But she said, hey, just to throw this out there, for only $40 more, you could become a distributor if you're open to extra income. Y'all, that question right there. If you get nothing from what I say tonight, that could change your business. That mom or that person, doesn't have to be a mom, but for me, that mom that wants to buy the body wraps, that person that wants to order the coffee and needs a little extra energy, she took my info, she was going to enroll me. And then before you put in their info, hey, just to throw it out there, are you at all open to extra income? Could I send you some information? When she said the words extra income, all I could think about is, yes, I need $80 a month to put my daughter in dance. I was a dancer. I danced in college, and I can't put my kid in dance class because we don't have the money, like that was it. And so that's what I would say is don't forget to open it. So that's kind of how I joined. And I'll tell you what, I joined. And I didn't take off like immediately. It was like within a couple weeks, but I joined and my enroller gave me little goals. People always say, how do I launch my distributors? I think it's kind of simple. She explained what a customer was and then told me to get my customers to earn my shopping spree. And I thought, shoot, free product. Okay. So I posted what she told me to post. But after I did that, she goes, okay, now it's time for distributors. And I remember saying, oh no, I don't have one person interested. Like, I don't know a soul. Like no, 0 of my friends will do this. And she's like, well, okay, but let's at least try. So can you ask a few people? I was probably like that person you don't want. And I was like, nope, nobody's interested. Not a soul in my life, And she's like, well, let me explain the Ruby chart. And I was just like, I could never go Ruby. And, back then it was, you needed 5 distributors to go Ruby. I'm like, there's not 5 people that will do this. But I hopped on a little Facebook work from home party, and and there was a double diamond on there sharing about how she'd earned a diamond bonus and a double diamond bonus. And she was a mom. And I never forget, after I was on that little work from home event, I don't know if you guys do those events ever, Cheyenne, but I hopped on one of those and was reading through the little post. And it doesn't have to be an event. Maybe for you guys, it's getting on the summer camp. Get on the summer camp that's going to be this Thursday. Get on the Pam's calls. But for me, it just took me hearing of another mom that did it for me to go, if she could do it, why not me? If it's for her, why not me too? And that little work from home opportunity Facebook event changed my business. I couldn't sleep that night, and I woke up the next morning and thought, I'm doing this thing. And I got my phone out and I called every person I knew. I told them about the business, that they've got to join me, and I took off. And then I went diamond in the 3 months and snagged a little bonus on the table, went double diamond the next month. I don't know the timeline. And I don't even really like timelines, because I'm like, your journey is your journey. But I went ambassador in my first year and a half. And then, people, when they're like, well, how did you go quick? I asked people. Like, once I committed to it, I got excited. And literally, y'all, I asked 10 people a day to join my team all the way to ambassador. that's what I did. Like, that was my thing. It was like every day I wouldn't go to bed without inviting 10 people to join me. So right now I would say to you, whether you're doing your 10 hosted posts a day and you're asking those 10 to join your team, or maybe you're asking 10 people because you add new people on Facebook or Instagram. I was never really a mass anything, like never like this mass enroller, never this mass, like I never sent hundreds of messages, but I was going to invite 10 people a day. And I truly believe that long-term consistency will always trump short-term intensity. So for me, I'm going to be consistent long-term. Like, and that's what I did. And so I committed, and that's kind of how I went ambassador, and then got the 2.0 spot, did that the second time, and then came over to John's team, worked with them to do that one. And, but it's just doing the same things over and over again. So that's a little of my journey in the kind of a long version of it.
I love it. I love it so much, because something like when I think of you, the reason I asked you to do this Zoom is because you never stop. And that's what I love. It's just like I feel like, not in a bad way, you're just never satisfied. It's like, okay, what's next? Like, let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next goal. And so I really want to hit on that, part of your story of you went ambassador. You did the things, and then you opened your second account and you said, okay, let's do it again. And you got that Ruby chart out, and you got that Emerald chart out, and you just went to every step that you could. And then, I remember texting you, she went double ambassador right after our tribe went ambassador, and she was just as far as I was, literally. And she did the same thing that I did, because she just got the goal out and just went after it. So we have lots of people on here who have promoted and they've achieved that first goal, or maybe they got their shopping spree or whatever it is. And so now they need to go to that next goal. What is your tips to people to just consistently keep dreaming and keep going to the next level?
It's funny, because I think what the thing is, and it is true, like a lot of my book, Cheyenne, I talk about a lot of these things, and I have a whole chapter in the book about finding your why. But that really is what it is. In whatever you're doing, you have to have your why, like why you're doing it. And so for me, the beginning of the business, me going Ruby, was for $80 a month to put my daughter in dance class. That was my why. Now stay with me, because that might seem super simple, but it's just, these whys just grow. And then when I hit that, I thought, I never used to get to go to Starbucks, right? Now I don't go because we have our own coffee, but Starbucks, I loved Starbucks, loved it. But I mean, that was just, we didn't have $5 for me to go get a drink. That was like a special thing, like a date night of John and I, if we got Starbucks, which sounds so funny now, but just thinking back, that was our reality. And then it was like, what if I could go diamond? And my whys were, and I could get Starbucks. Oh my gosh, what if I could go to Target and not just buy out of the dollar bin things? And so I kind of wanted that. And I wanted diamond just for the extra. My kid, Ruby was my daughter in dance class. Diamond was those extra things. And then it was like, oh my goodness, what if I went double diamond? I could literally pay some of these bills so my husband isn't always stressed out. Okay, let me get double. Then I'm like, wait, what if I could match his income and his job could be optional? Like if I went triple, I'm matching his, and then I went triple, and then it was like, oh my gosh, now I'm affecting other people. Now I've got other diamonds. Now my sister-in-law doesn't have to teach at a preschool or at her kid's school anymore. She doesn't have to be the receptionist. She got to leave her job. And oh my goodness, now this friend doesn't have to do that. And another friend get to leave her job. And now I'm impacted. And the whys grow. So that's what I would say. You can't get content. You can't get content. And now, I'm not gonna lie, have there been seasons I've gotten content? For sure. There's a reason I went ambassador in 18 months the first time, and the second time it took me 4 years. I didn't have that same fire to drive the whole way the second time, and so I had to keep dreaming bigger and dreaming bigger. And sometimes it feels a little bit selfish, but your dreams, that's okay, because they've gotta be. They have to be dreams that you have for you, and then for your team as well. But you know what? I'm probably not going to work my butt off from morning to night and be like, well, this is for the team. You've got to have those things personal. And it's a mix. And it very much is about my team as well. Absolutely. But you've got to have those personal things. I am a true believer. And that's why I always tell my team, I want you to write 10 things you want for yourself in your life over the next 10 years. And I would challenge you guys to do it right now, or do it when we get off the Zoom. What's 10 things you want to happen in your life over the next 10 years you want to see happen? Because you've got to have those, because those are the things, and those are whys. Those are little whys. And some of my whys are super bougie, and I probably wouldn't even say them to you guys, but I've got 10 things and I write those down because it keeps me going. It keeps me, I'm like, I feel like I was destined to fly private. I've never flown on a private plane, but yeah, that's on there. Cause like, that would be super awesome to just get to like bring my family and fly on a private plane. And yeah, I think we could, I think one day, I think in 10 years I will, but why not? Like, you gotta have those things. But don't like be like, okay, she's very, bougie. Cause another thing, you wanna know another thing on my 10 is I can't wait to write $1 million check to my church. Yeah, I don't want to give $1 million total over. No, I want to have it to where I can write $1 million with however many zeros are in $1 million. Is that 7, 6? I don't know, to my church. Like, I want to be able to give back exponentially. Like, so like, these are all, and like, if you don't believe me, I could literally pull out, I could like literally, like, I'm not lying when I say do this. Like, I could literally pull out, like, every day I'm writing down 10 dreams for the next 10 years. And I write the same ones every day. Like, be a New York Times bestselling author, I want to make $1 million a month, write $1 million check to my church. I only fly private. John and I work full time together. Speak at sold out stadiums and arenas, be an intentional present mom, have a thriving marriage, have a beach home in Rosemary. I mean, like, so like, I have to have these because these keep me going, okay? And so like, yeah, you write them down, the bougie, the good ones, all the things, and my dreams don't have to be your dreams, and that's the amazing thing about it. But I think that's what keeps you going. But when you hit a dream and you don't dream bigger, you kind of settle, you kind of coast. And I get it. Some of you are like, I don't need a beach home, I need to pay my electricity. I get it. I'll never forget our electricity breaking. And my friend Esty at the time, her and her husband were newlyweds. They had a little apartment. John and I had a house. Our AC broke. We couldn't afford to fix it. And Esty's husband, Cookie, gave us one of those portable window units to put in our master bedroom. So we had one cold room in the house till we could like afford to fix it for 3 weeks in the 90-degree, or not even 90, in the 100-degree West Texas summer. So like, I get it. Everyone's whys are different. So whether you need the $80 or whether you're like, no, I want to give back, or whether you're like, no, I want to put my kids in private school. Like, I need to pay daycare. I need groceries. I need diapers. I need formula. If you don't have those whys that grow with you, then you are going to get complacent. You are going to coast, and so that's kind of what I do, Cheyenne.
I'm literally just, it's so good. Who is inspired on here? What I think about is when I hear you tell that story, I just think about the fact that when you were in those positions where you had to have an AC unit in one of your rooms and you had to press the gas to get the car to go multiple times, like thinking of you in that lifestyle, the life that you live now, you would have thought it was crazy to even dream up that you could live that. Mm-hmm. You would have thought back then, oh, I'll never live that life. Oh no. And if you were to put that on a dream board, you would feel completely idiotic writing out all these things, writing a book and the home that you built and all the things that you're able to do. And so I just look at all of you on this Zoom and I think about that. Like, I think about me when every time me and my mom would have to move out of our house because we couldn't afford it, and we would get the paper in the mail and it's like, oh, it was time to move, or our electricity would get turned off, or school would come around and we couldn't go school shopping. Like, that's what I think about. And then I think about the life that I live now because I designed it, because I made a decision to where I was going to do this, this, and this, X, Y, and Z, and never stop until I get it done. And this life I live, I made a dream board about this like 2 years ago. And I thought it was crazy that I wrote half of this stuff down. When I put buy a home on my dream board, I was like, oh, that's going to take me 10 years to do. Like, it's going to take me 10 years to go ambassador, if I even go ambassador. And now I look at my life now and I don't even know how it happened. So how do you, like, we have people on here that, are brand new, okay? And they're like, I don't even know how to message somebody. Like, I don't even know how to do that. I think the thing is that we don't try to figure out how, right? When you were going double ambassador, you came to me and you're like, can I do this? Like, this is a lot of volume. I don't know how to get there. But the thing is you didn't try to figure out how. You gave it to God and you showed up in every way that you could. So for those people that are like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here, like, I feel crippled by that, what would you tell them?
I would definitely say you do have to decide, okay? You just have to decide you're doing it, and it makes me think of, I think Kiyomi says that often, when you find your why, the how will take care of itself, but you have to decide, because there's a difference in being halfway in, having your big toe in the water, and being like, I'm going all in, I'm doing this thing, okay? And that's what I would say is, if I could like get you to do anything, jump in, like, go all in. I don't care what your sister said. I don't care that your brother called it, you know, a pyramid scheme, or that your friend unfollowed you, or that you're, you know, I mean, all those things have happened. Like, I mean, because I had them all happen, you know, or you got blocked, or you got, you know, even recently, one of my friends was asking me, have you seen Candace? She's like lost all this weight. She looks so great. And I'm like, oh my goodness, let me look her up. And I looked her up. I'm like, oh, we're not friends. That means she unfriended me because I never unfriended her. Okay, that stuff happens. Like, you know, like people do, like, and she probably didn't want to see my business up. I don't know. I don't care. Like, that's not going to stop me from like the life, like living my life and doing what I do. And so, I would definitely say though, you've got to make that decision. And it's true. I decided after that Facebook opportunity event, I decided that night I was going diamond. I was a distributor. I wasn't Ruby. I was a distributor. But I decided, oh, I am going diamond. Who knows what it's like? Who's ever made a decision? Like, you've decided, oh, I'm doing it. I made that decision. And you know what? I made that decision and started, because I had decided it up in my brain, scientifically, when you believe something and you make that decision, it literally is a scientific fact that what it does, your actions start to follow. I don't believe that it's like, oh, I dreamed it and I'm like manifesting it, it's just going to appear. No. I think when I decide something and I believe it, my actions start to follow. Like, I'm going to start doing it. I decided I was going to go diamond. So I started doing the things a diamond would do. I started having a rap party every Wednesday night at my house, because that's what we did back then. And I had a rap party every Wednesday. And I would do the presentation. And at the end, I'd show them the average income chart, because I made this like blinged out poster I would use. Oh my goodness, I should actually find photos. It would be really funny. But this like blinged out poster and the average income chart. And I'm going to be going diamond at the end of September and earning a $10,000 diamond bonus. And I would do, and like, I remember someone was like, oh, what rank are you now? I'm like, oh, executive, but I'll be going diamond. And like, I would tell every rap party. And now I think back, I'm like, I was so ballsy, but I believed it. I didn't think I was lying. I had decided I was going diamond the end of September to get this diamond bonus. And so I told everyone that at every rap party. And you know what? I did it. I went diamond and got the bonus because I had decided and believed it. And those decisions are what, every time I went double diamond, or when I went triple diamond, or presidential diamond, or ambassador diamond, I decided it every single time, even the second time. And Cheyenne's right. Like, I remember I had been presidential 2.0 for a solid year. And I was like, okay, Sherilynn, come on. Like, and I had to see all these other people, but I hadn't decided I could be ambassador 2.0. And that wasn't my decision. And you're on here, you're like, I don't even know what ambassador is. That's okay. Whatever your first rank is, Ruby. Pretend I'm talking about Ruby. But I literally had to make that decision. And for me, I had to see Marwa do it. But even then, I didn't really believe I could. I was like, well, that's her. Like, she's like famous and her like culture. And like, I don't know how to do that or be that, you know? And so I kept thinking, well, that's for her, not for me. And then I saw Courtney. And even then it's like, well, but Courtney is like Barbie. And like, yeah, she can do it. But like, I don't know. Like, you know, and then when Christy said she was doing it, I'm like, okay, Christy, a mom with like even more kids than me. Okay, wait, okay, Christy did it? Oh yeah, I can do it. Then I decided. And from the moment I decided, yeah, like I think my volume was even lower than Cheyenne's. I don't even remember it, but I mean, it was nuts. Like, we had to over double our volume from one month to the next. And we did it because I had decided. And so I think that is huge. I think once you make the decision, your actions will start to follow. And I actually have a saying I always say, it's on the back of my book. It says, you have to, is this backwards? It might be, but it says you have to see it, believe it, pray for it, work for it. And I'm telling you, that to me has been the secret to everything. Business, life, whether it was deciding I was going to get straight A's in college when I'm dyslexic, whether it was deciding I was going to go ambassador in this company, whether it was deciding, like, whatever the thing, I want you to see yourself doing it. Because I think there's something huge about when you visualize it and you see yourself and like you're there and you get excited, like that does something to you. And like, so I would see myself on the stage. I would see myself on the white couch. I would see myself getting to know Mark and Cindy, and I would see my team. I remember seeing my team and being so mad going, John, I don't get it. I'd been like top 10 for multiple years, but no one on my team had ever even been invited to be on the stage or to speak. I'm like, I see them up there. I see Stacy. I see Kelly. I see Danielle. Like, I don't understand. Why aren't they asked to be on stage? Why aren't they? And like, but I saw it and I believed it. And eventually it happened. And it wasn't because I saw that it happened, but it was just like having that dream and speaking it over them and just me leading my team forward and knowing that it wasn't just for me, it was for my whole team, and my whole team would be in the top 200, you know, and all that. But you have to see it. Then I think you have to believe it. I'm a firm believer in praying and surrendering it to the Lord, but then you do have to show up and work for it. So like what Cheyenne said, well, what do? They just started. You just got to jump in. You just got to see where you want to go, believe it can happen. I believe in praying and asking the Lord to bless what you put your hands to, but then yeah, you got to put your hands to something. And then you do have to work. You do have to put one foot in front of the other. And I kind of think of everything like the starting line. You're at that race, right? And they're getting ready to count down. The gun's going to blow. You're at the starting line and it goes and it's up to you. Like, I don't know how to get to the finish line, but you just start. You put one foot in front of the other and you keep going and you keep your eye fixed on that goal that you have. And all of a sudden you start walking and then you're jogging and all of a sudden you start catching your stride and you're running and you see it. And before you know it, you're there. And it's like, how did I get here? You just started. You just started, and that's what I would, say. Did I even answer your question? I don't know, but I think somewhere in there I did.
You did. And it's so crazy because I literally opened up your book to this part that I have bookmarked, and it's the whole paragraph that you just talked about that I was.
Is it? I'm like, that's like, yeah, I'm like, literally, I know when my publisher's like, are you going to do a second one? I'm like, wait, everything in my life that is like gotten me anywhere that I believe is all in the first one. There's nothing left. I don't think so. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm like, it's all there. I've said everything I can say. Like, it's all my stuff.
Yeah, I was going to read this part to everyone because I literally highlighted the whole section of this paper. It says, sometimes the task before us seems daunting. We're standing at the starting line knowing that there's a whole race ahead of us. We feel uneasy and uncertain, wondering whether we can finish the race. We remember the pain in our knees and how little sleep we got the night before, and we wonder if running this race is a good idea. Next year, we think. Though our minds fill with reasons to not go, something in us remains on the starting line. We hear, on your mark, get set, and our uncertainty and fear reach a peak. We hear go, and the race has started. We take a step forward, and the race before us doesn't seem as daunting. Each step is a step closer to our goal. Literally so good. And I was going to share the link to it at the end of this so that y'all can go snag it, because I'm pretty sure it launched like, 3-4 days ago, 5 days ago?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I know, it's crazy.
So crazy. So I know that your journey hasn't always been perfect, and you talk about that a lot in your book too. So in the moments in your life or business or anything like that you just feel overwhelmed, because we're all human, we all go through it no matter what. And maybe you feel like your business just isn't taking that, speed, or maybe summer comes along and you start seeing your volume start dropping. How is it that you just keep going through it with that positive mindset and just keep chugging along?
Yeah. So I think, first of all, I think it helps knowing, you guys, and this has helped me knowing business. My husband trades stocks for a living. So I'm very aware of like, things are going to have ups and downs. Like, that's it. Like, if you look at, John he tells me stocks all the time of, like it was up and oh man, and Apple's down. And one time he even did for our team, he took Apple Apple stock and showed what it did year over year. And it's like all of these things, but when you're looking at it, it's going like this. If you're looking at it, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, but all through in there, when you zoom in, it's like all the different pieces of what it's doing. And that's what it is. So I think it's always helped me, number one, Cheyenne, to have a long-term goal. You know what? My check drops, whatever, 1 month, I'm not losing, like, that's like a little wake up, like, okay, I'm gonna crank it up the next month, but I'm not gonna lose sleep. I'm not gonna throw, like, I'm in this for the long haul. There's no one in It Works making $1 million a month yet. And there's room in our compensation plan for that. I want to make $1 million. Cheyenne wants to make it. I know. Morgan probably wants to, right? Like, there's that for us. There's not going to just be like one black diamond in our company. Like, no, there's going to be a day when there was one, it took forever for the one ambassador, Melanie, right? And then after Mel went ambassador, then now we've got hundreds, or I don't know how many we have, but I know I was within the first 100. So there's at least another 100. So I don't know, however many ambassadors. There's going to be a day where those are all black diamonds. And so I want to be there for that. So I would say, number one, remember that you're committed. Remember, you decided you're in this for the long haul. Your check went down a couple $100. Your check went down. Maybe it went down. I think mine went down like a lot, like $10,000. But yeah, I don't care. Like, that's just part of like, whatever, like I'm in this long-term, I don't like, so I think you have to, number one, decide that, right? Decide this is a long-term thing. I'm not going to get hung up over little things. And then I think you have to know attack is going to come. I mean, to get to a mountain, right, you're going to have to trek and you might fall backwards and then you go forwards, and you just keep stepping forward. And if attacks come on yourself, like, and I believe our battle is not against flesh and blood. I believe it's against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realm. It's a spiritual battle. The enemy's out to kill, steal, and destroy. So when those negative thoughts come, forever. I remember it was like, and I don't even like speaking it, but I had spoken it to John before. For years, my fear, probably my first 3 years in this business, I was like, I'm just scared to be a one-hit wonder. And like I said that my first year, I'm like, I don't want to be a one-hit wonder. Like, I don't want to, like, I see those people and they go, and like, that was a fear. And then I remember finally by the third year, John's like, babe, like, okay, you've been in like the top 10 for 3 years. Like you're past being a one hit, like that can't happen anymore. Like, I don't know why you keep saying that. Like, you can't be one hit wonder when you've like gone to the top and you've been there multiple years. He's like, but I guess that's good. You still keep going. But even in my head, and like, he had to almost say it like that for me to go, oh, I still had that fear of what if it falls apart? What if I fail? Like, but those are lies. So what I would say to you is this: when the lies come, maybe it's that you can't do this business. Everyone quit. No one on your team's working. You're never going to. You take the thought captive and you replace it with the truth. And let me tell you a secret. This is going to be your whole life. The thought comes, you take it captive, you replace it with the truth. I loved when Mark said a couple months ago, no stinking thinking, because my whole life, the thought comes, you're not worthy. I take it. I replace it with the truth. The thought comes, who are you to be in a health and wellness company, Sherilynn? You dealt with eating disorders for years and years. That's not who I am anymore. Take the thought captive, replace it with the truth. Who are you to marry someone like John? You were crazy and lived this, promiscuous, did all the bad things life, and you meet this Christian guy that's like perfect. No, that's not who I am anymore. I take it captive, replace it with the truth. Who are you to build a business? You couldn't read till you were 10 years old. You like had to cheat your way through school. You were called dumb. Like, no, that's not who I am. Take it captive, replace it with the truth. I can do all things through Christ who give me strength, right? Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. His strength is made perfect in his strength is made perfect in my weakness, And so I think that wherever you're at, there's going to be stuff that happens, but it's important to remember whose you are. You're a daughter of the King, right? Like, who are you? You're highly favored. You're the head and not the tail. You're above and not beneath. You're blessed going in, blessed going out, and everything you set your hands to will prosper. And so that's what you have to remember. And so I would say with the business, there's going to be times that things happen, but that's where I'd remind yourself you're committed. You're in it for the long haul. I'd remind yourself, who are you listening to? Are you listening to what God says you are? Are you listening to the enemy? And then the last thing that I would throw in that little question, Cheyenne, would be, what are you filling yourself with? If you feel like you're in a funk, stop speaking it and start filling your spirit with the truth. So start reading a good book. Start listening to, whether it's podcasts, Earl Nightingale, is it Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret? Right, Earl, have y'all listened to that?
I think so.
That's like, I think it's Earl Knight. He's this awesome Christian guy. Not The Secret. There's one of them that I don't like, I think is weird. But I think this one's called The Strangest Secret. Google it real quick. One of your leaders is on here. But I think it's Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. And I listen to that. And it's all about like what you're thinking and what the word of God says. And I listen to that if I ever like go to get in a funk, or listen to an audio book, or listen to, so fill yourself up, and that will help you go forward. And here's the thing. If you're feeling stuck, all you have to do is start moving and create that momentum. Inactivity creates fear. You get scared when you're inactive, when you're not enrolling customers, when you're not enrolling distributors. Like, the inactivity is going to create fear. Activity, that's going to start producing that like momentum. So like, just start doing the things, start sending out some message, start putting up the posts, fill yourself, and just get to work. And it sounds silly, like, and I remember Pam would always say it, and some ambassadors would be like, oh, that's what she always says, but it's so true. She'd say, just get to work. Get to work. Stop moaning, stop complaining, stop giving yourself the pity party, and just get to work, And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
Literally so good. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you didn't stop talking then, because I literally was like choked up. It was so freaking good. That, I don't even know. Is it a Bible verse that you and John always say, you're the head and not the tail? I need to find that. Yeah,
I'll send it to you. Our kids pray it every night. It's like, it's from their children's church, and we like love it. And like their children's church says it, and we're like, that's so true. And it does have to do with a Bible, but yeah. I'll send it to you, Cheyenne.
Okay, thank you. It's seriously so good. Okay, so something that we got asked a couple of times, and you kind of mentioned it, is imposter syndrome. You know, people feeling like they're a one-hit wonder, or they had the success and now they're not having it anymore, or, you know, they joined, they got their shopping spree, they're doing their thing, and then they're just like, okay, well, nobody wants us anymore. Like, how do you overcome feeling like an imposter?
So there's two things I would say, okay? And and in my head and how I reason it is I'm like, I'll give you the spiritual, and then I'm also gonna just give you like the factual, okay? So like, I would say, I'll start with the factual is this. People are doing it. People are going diamond every single month. I mean, I could read you just my little team. You know, we had 40 something new rubies last month, and 12 new diamonds, and 9 new double diamonds. And I mean, I could pull up the thing. People are doing it. New triple diamonds. There were new ambassadors last month. People are doing it every single month. So that's what I would say. You're like, well, I don't know if I can do it. No one wants it. No one wants to practice. No, they do. They do. And I used to always tell myself when I'd be like, I don't know, I can't sign any customers. I'm like, wait, but Sherilynn, Marwa signed like 200. So there's customers. You're just not signing them, Sherilynn. People are signing them. It's not you, but other people are. And I have to tell myself that. Like, oh man, I'm working, but I don't know right now. It's hard times. No, Danielle Boyle, she's an ambassador that I signed on my team. She signed 15 ETs this month. No, people are signing. They're just not signing with you. And I just have to tell myself, there's people doing it. People are signing 20 customers a month. People are going ruby and emerald and diamond and double and triple and presidential ambassador. And then they're doing it a second time over and over and over again. So people are doing it. So that's a fact. Facts. Like my 8-year-old would say, hashtag facts. And so like, that's their thing. I don't know. I guess what they learn in school, but hashtag facts. People are doing it. So that's when you have to remember, why not you? People are going diamond. Why not you? You can. And I say that a lot, but I think we believe that lie. It's for them and not for us. It's for you too. This isn't for one person. Well, but you know, none of them have kids and they don't know. No, Brittany Hayes has like 12, you know, or 5, I don't know how many, but a lot of little children's like, so no, and she's killing, and she's doing it like, and I have to tell myself that, well, but you know, my husband, no, there's other people, their husbands work and they're still killing it. Like, you just have to tell yourself, people are doing it and why not you? It is not just for them. It is for you too, sis. Like, that's what I would say to you. And then that's where I'd also go to, I mean, just basic. I was a competitive gymnast. Philippians 4:13. I would say that before every competition. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I can do it. Like with God, I can do anything. I know that. Like I had to say that as a kid in gymnastics. I had to say that as an adult going through college. I had to say that building my business. I had to say that writing my book. Like it just, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. That's what I believe. And so, you know, you got your shopping spree, keep going. Because if you don't, other people are going to keep doing it. Because there's customers to be signed. If you need a list of, for me, I love looking at the list of like the top enrollers. Like, and it's very rare I'm ever on that list, you know, but when corporate shouts them out, like, I'm just like, that is so awesome. And it just reminds me, there's people to sign. Like, they're out there. Whether you get them or someone else gets them, they're going to join. And people are going to keep going diamond and keep going ambassador. So let that be you.
Yes, I repeated that over and over and over the month that I was going ambassador. Is people were like, I don't know, Shay, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm really far. And I'm like, it has been done. It has been done. And that's what I told myself the whole entire month. And even though I hadn't really heard of that many people pulling in that much volume, I was like, it's been done before. I just know it. Like, I just know it. It's going. It's going to be just fine. And, you know, it is a lot. And sometimes it seems like that mountain is something that you can't climb. But you know, when you're on a hike, I don't know if you've ever been on a hike before, but when you're hiking, man, it's like every step is taking everything out of you once you get to the end. And you're like, I feel like I haven't even got very far. But if you were looking at an aerial view, you'd be almost to the top. And it's like that, you know, that I know y'all have seen that a little meme that It's the two guys digging for diamonds underground, and they're on top of each other, and one guy gives up and turns around right before he gets to the diamonds. It's like, you got to keep going and you have to keep pushing, even though it feels like you've already been there or you already had the success. Like, I have had so many ups and downs in my business. I had a very fast start and then got stuck for almost a year at diamond because I could not figure out what was wrong with me, why I couldn't get to the next level, why nobody wanted the business. And it's because I was sitting there thinking nobody wanted the business and nobody wanted the products. And who was I to think that I could go double diamond? Who was I to think I couldn't? I was watching all these other people that were joining after me, just surpassing me and like blowing it out of the water, and all these people going diamond. Like, Sherilynn just had someone go triple diamond on her team in like 5 months. I don't know, it was ridiculous. I saw that, I was like, what? No, that's not the case for every single person, but like, it's been done, so why not you? I think we spend half of our life counting ourselves out of things that we want to do. I went live about this in the team page the other day. It's like, I remember being in school and seeing all these girls with these super cute outfits. Oh, it just looks good on them because they're cute. I could have worn the same dang thing, but I didn't have the confidence, and I was looking at somebody else like they had something I didn't have. And so that's the same truth in that. You can go diamond if you decide. And you can too be ambassador if you don't let every single down take you out and know that it's going to come like a speed bump. Like I talk to you all the time. If you know a speed bump's coming, you're going to go over it gracefully than if you didn't and it takes you completely by surprise and knocks your wheels off. See what I'm saying? Okay, so with lots of leadership questions. So a lot of people saying, you know, this is typically coming from a yellow of they don't want to step on people's toes when they're trying to lead, and how to lead different people of different colors and things like that. So what is your biggest tips just on stepping into leadership?
Okay, you know, and I feel like I get these a lot, where everyone's like, I just don't know how to be a leader. I don't know how to, but here's the thing. I think you just lead out loud and you're going to learn as you go. So like the best tip of advice I have, how do I get my team to win? Or how do you do duplication? What works for you, share it. Like, you're not anyone's boss. I'm not nobody's boss. Like, I'm not like, I can lead, but like, they signed up for the business. Like, it's they've got their own 1099. It's their business. Like, I'm not their boss. I can tell them the post. They can do what they want. Like, it's not my job to be their boss. Like, you know, but what it is my job is to show them what can be done. So I'm huge on leading out loud. And what I say to my team is like, I want you to lead out loud. I want you to share. And my 2.0 does a team huddle at 7:30 to 8 every Sunday night. And this is kind of what I talked about, y'all. This, like, it's already the 9th. Are you leading out loud? Like, and I was challenging the whole team. Shout your goals out. And I want to know, what's your August goal? What paid ring do you want to be in August? How many distributors do you want to sign? How many customers do you want to sign? Put it in the chat. And I could say that to y'all too. Put it in the chat. Share that, and then ask your team, hey, because you probably have team members not on this. What's your August goal, girl? And get them to tell you their goal too. And then here's the other thing. Throughout the month, lead out loud. You sign a customer from a post, share the post with your team. You're signing distributors. This message is so good. Sometimes we make the mistake, leaders especially. We're going to put on our blinders. We're going to get to work. And oh yeah, I signed my 20 and I got my, oh yeah, I hit my goal. Okay, that's half of it. Is your team hitting their goal? Lead out loud. What's working for you? Share that with them, because that's awesome. You sign your 20. What if everyone else was signing 20 or 10 or 5 or doing their steps? Like, and so the best thing to me a leader can do is lead out loud regardless of color. Like, sometimes I think we put too much emphasis into the whole like different colors. I'm like, I don't care if you're red, yellow, blue, green, purple. You just need to know what post to put, what messages to send if you're starting out, to set a goal, you know, to find a why. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I think that to me is like huge part of it. And then, yeah, I would say the second part, you learn as you go. Okay. You kind of learn as you go. So when I first joined, I thought it was like everybody's goal to be an ambassador. And I like thought like, that's why you join. Like, don't you want to go ambassador? I want to go ambassador. So like, I remember having distributors that I rode too hard, and I was way too hard. And I'm like, okay, girl, what's your goal this month? Well, hey, you were really far from your goal. Like, I mean, are you having a wrap party this week? And like, you know, being hard. And I'll never forget, one of my best friends quit at Ruby because I knew she could go diamond, and I was just trying to, you know, and she's like, I just feel like I'm always letting you down, and like, it's just not fun, and like, I don't want to do this. And I was like, wait, like, and then it happened to one more, and sure, they were both probably yellow if we're going to look at colors, like, but what I had to learn is like, shoot, that's not really my job to push them. And I don't care if they were red. I don't think that's my job to ride them hard. I mean, I think if they want like accountability and want to send me their goals and me like do like a check-in, but I think like the best thing for me to do is show them what to do, you know, and the most inspiring thing is for your leader to be doing it. Okay, and to be sharing, like, I signed 6 customers, girls, this is what, and I do that, like, when I've got the little, you know, my little group chat of who I'm working with this month, okay, y'all, I signed the DT, I screenshot the post, it was this script, screenshot the script, like, I'm literally telling them what I did, and I think that's, like, the best way to be a leader, and maybe I'm not, like, the best leader yet, like, either, because, like, I know I don't know, like, all the things, and I do think the more intentional you can get with a person, the better. So I know like it does awesome when someone new joins and I'm like individually talking with them, individually checking in with them. They're going to win and do so much better than when I clump them in a message group and I'm not giving that individual touch, but they're just getting, you know, like, because even in my August Rockstar group, I've got a group of all my new August people, right? Well, I can send posts in there. Here's a post for today. And I send it and like a 4th post it. But when I take that same post and individually send it to all my newbies, I can get them all to post it. So I think that that's huge too with leadership, remembering that individual touch is really huge. But I don't know, I think leading out loud to me is just like the best thing you can do, and to show that you're working and then to tell them how.
Yes, individual definitely helps. And tomorrow we actually have a recruiting boot camp. So we've always had our, you know, for the last 10 days or 8 days or something, we've had our distributor recruitment boot camp in the morning. I sent it in the chats this morning, but tomorrow morning I'm actually ending it. We're talking about duplication, and we're talking about how to get it and replicate it throughout your entire team. And literally what I'm talking about is leading from the front. Ultimately, it all comes down to what are you doing? Because whatever you're doing is being duplicated, whether you're working or whether you're not. And so a lot of you, if you're looking at your team and you're like, they're just not doing the things, it's probably a direct reflection of what you are doing and the way that you're setting them up. If they're not having success, maybe it's because you're not showing them the way by posting consistently, leading loud from the front, sharing what they're a part of. Like, guys, people want to be a part of something. How many people want to be a part of something? You want to be a part of this team going double ambassador. You're like, heck yeah, sign me up, let's do it. People want to be a part of that. And so if you're not sharing what they're a part of and where your team's going and what the goal is, they're not going to be as excited to get there because they don't even know what it is they're doing. So that's literally it. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the morning, I will see y'all and I will be talking to y'all about how to duplicate and replicate throughout your organization. And it's literally as simple as it sounds, because sometimes we overcomplicate it. Okay, so one of the last things is, you know, it's August. We're over halfway done with the year, and we have so many people on here who have not accomplished the things that they wanted to accomplish yet. You know, they've got that dream board full of stuff and it's still not done, and they're like, well, you know, I missed the boom season. I missed the very beginning of the year. I feel like I'm not going to get there because all this stuff. Like, what would you say to them to really just realign and run?
Yeah, it's funny because it was last year we talked about so many of the diamonds, the doubles, the triples. I think even Kelly Brown might have joined in October or November. I mean, it was just so many of when we did this last year. I need to reprint out that list. So many diamonds were birthed during the fall and winter. And so it's crazy. And so what I would say to you is like, you do not want to slow down during these times because you don't know who's going to join your team. You know, Cheyenne said, I joined in December. Exactly. Point proven, right? And that's supposedly the slowest month of the year, you know? And so it's like diamonds are birthing that. So I would say the best thing you can do is, I don't care what time it is, you can create your own run. You can create momentum. I've got a girl on my team right now that is like, it's been so neat to watch her just decide to crank it up. She's going triple diamond this month, but she joined 2 years ago, went diamond, and then kind of fizzled out and just kind of stopped. And then she just decided she was ready to roll. But she didn't decide she was ready. She watched the team go double ambassador. She wasn't a part of that run. Watched the team go double ambassador the end of May, and then in June decided, okay, I'm going to do this thing. You know what she did? She jumped back in June, took her account from Ruby to, or not even Ruby, maybe executive, like it had just fallen apart, all the way, got it back to diamond in June. In July, took it to double diamond, hit double diamond, literally so close to triple, a setup now. I bet she'll go triple this month, charted for triple. Like where she just decided to give her own little run starting in June through August, and it'll go into, you know, and she'll keep going. You can decide. I'll never forget. A girl, an ambassador on my team, Danielle, I'll never forget. I signed Danielle from social media. I didn't really know her. One of the few on my team that like was someone I didn't know, because I signed a lot of people that like I know or like are friends of friends. And so she was one that came from Instagram. And I'll never forget watching when she came in, her team do this run in the winter. And it was like going like, she went like triple in the fall and prez in the winter. And I was just going, whoa, and her whole team and like everyone on my charts, like, and John he's very mathematician. So he'll like make these spreadsheets and show me. And I'm like, babe, I just don't care. Did my check, was it good to go up? Like, you know, but he's like trying to show me like volume by leg and people stuff. And I'm like, this is just not, but everyone else's volume's like, and Danielle Boyle, their team's like, woo, and like just promotion. And I just was like, whoa, you get to pick it. So all that to say, you get to pick. You want to run right now, just start running. There's already that momentum. And I think of it like a ball, right? A ball that's going. It's so much easier to keep pushing it and it get more speed and get more traction, right? And that's how I think of the business right now. We've got that momentum to keep it going, then to let it stop. Because school's starting or the holidays, you let it stop and then you want to get it started again. It's so much hard to have this ball that you're restarting when you've got it already going. So just keep it going. So I would say to you right now, no, like momentum is here. Like we just came out with a new product. We just got $24 kits. So put in the chat, how many people did you sign? You've got all these new distributors. These are people that can all go diamond under you. Keep it going. The world's still locked down pretty much, y'all. I mean, it's like opening here and there, but like people are still wanting extra income. Like, believe me, like people still don't have jobs. Like people are still not out and about like they were. Like, I mean, you can maybe go to a couple of restaurants here and there, but it's not like my weekends, being a mom of 3 kids, used to be a million birthday parties all weekend long, a million games. I mean, stuff is still just so different. So this is the time. Look at, when I see those numbers, I think of, wow, 4 new rubies. You can have 4 new rubies, Morgan, by next month. 6, oh my goodness, at least one of those 6 should go diamond if you're signing 6. I mean, I feel like every 3 for sure, 1 goes ruby, every 6 you got a diamond, you know? And so like that right there is business changing. And so, you know, definitely right now is not when you slow down. Right now is when diamonds are birthed. Diamonds are made. I really feel like during this time they come in. Melissa Dean, she's a triple diamond on my team, super close to presidential. And I'll never forget, she joined Christmas Day night because she was a manager for Victoria's Secret and was going to be working the day after Christmas and leaving her kids, and just thought, I don't ever want to have to do this again. Ended up joining then, you know? And so this is definitely the time where you don't want to slow down. Mark told us, I'll never forget, what was that? Costa Rica? I don't know. One of the leadership things last year, he goes, I've got it in me to go on another run. And another run is typically this 3-4 year, like a run. A company's run is not like a 1-year thing. It's like, you know, we're going on a, 4-year run. Like back when I first joined, I came in 6 years ago was the end of a huge run that the company had. And, you know, he's like, I got it in me. I'm doing another run. I just need to know if you guys are in. And I remember thinking, wow, okay, am I ready for a run? Like, I got to decide. And I decided I was, and he wasn't lying. And we're going on a run. So I feel like it's your choice to say, I wish I would have when it's all said and done, or you can say, I'm so glad I did. And I've got so many months, y'all, that I had the I wish I would have. I mean, when I watched the other girls go double ambassador, it's like, Sherilynn, I just kept thinking, I wish I would have. But then I just couldn't live in that. I just had to say, okay, well, I'm changing it. I'm starting now. I wish I would have. Can't change the past. I don't know what your first 9 days looks like. We can't change them, but we can start now. So start now. You know, there's momentum. There's huge momentum. I mean, our company's experiencing a run. So you're going to run. You're going to sit on the sidelines and watch. The decision's yours. I know Cheyenne's running. I'm running, you know, but what are you going to do?
I love it. Let me know in the chat who's ready to go, because I don't know, y'all know we've got a retreat coming next month, and you have to have your steps to success and your auto shipment on in order to be eligible to go. And guys, it is hard to pick right now. We have so many people on fire. So many people are killing it. I've got my list going over here of all the people that have been showing up to our Zooms, who have been getting their steps done, who have been enrolling, who've been excited, who've been showing up. Like, you're not coming to the retreat if I had to ask you why you've not been on every single Zoom. That's just a part of it. Those people aren't even on here to hear that. It's just how it goes. But I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Sherilynn, for doing this. I know that all of them are inspired. Half of them are like literally this far from the screen because they're like, oh my God, that's so good. So everyone say thank you. I'm going to share the link to her book one more time.
Oh, you're sweet.
So that you can go snag it and read it, because it's seriously so good. I just shared it. You'll have to scroll up, or you can just search. You can do Hard Things on Amazon and pull it up and support Sherry and tag her in it and read the book, because it's seriously so good. But guys, make sure that y'all are on the Recruiting Bootcamp Zoom tomorrow morning. I will share the graphics so that your teams can share it within each other. Our team retreat is next month, and I'm already planning it. I've got so much stuff in the works, and I'm freaking hyped about it. It's gonna be so fun. So make sure you're getting your work done for that. If you go Diamond this month, you are pretty much solidified to go to the retreat. So if you are close to Diamond, which is about half of you on here that could just sprint straight to it this month, go get it. And why am I telling you to do that? Because it has been done. If I did it, if Sherry did it, if half the people on our team have done it, they don't have anything that you don't already have. And I can tell you that when I was going ambassador, and the month that Sherry was going ambassador, and we had to double our volume, which is so hard because your volume's already crazy when you're going ambassador, then you too can get 8,000 in volume and go Diamond. You too can find, 12 people to get to 400 and help them get their shopping spree, and then help them and help them. Like, you can do it all. You just have to decide that you're going to do it all. And you have to decide, I was talking to Cheyenne about this yesterday. We were talking about excitement, how you literally can generate your own excitement. The same way that you get hyped about conference, the same way you got excited about joining the business, the same way you feel when you have a distributor joining your team, you can create that right now, because I promise you, you feel hype right now. Let me know. Drop one in the comments if you're like really excited. Real types of excited. I'm real types of excited. But I'm not the kind of person that gets off these Zooms and was like, whoa, that was good. I'm going to sit down and watch Netflix. No thanks. That ain't it. I'm about to go and fill out my Diamond chart some more. I am about to train some people. I'm going to FaceTime my new distributors tomorrow. Like, I've got lots of stuff that I'm deciding to do, because I know that these feelings can fade, but your excitement for what you're doing and the decision that you made does not go away. The decision that Sherry made when she was going Double Ambassador did not just fade when she was like, I don't know if this is going to happen, because I texted her for updates all throughout the month, and she was like, I don't know, Cheyenne, we're really far, but we're doing it. I just decided, and it happened, and it was crazy. And it felt like I was watching my own promotion happen again, because it was just so much excitement. So, Sherry, if you had one last tip to leave everyone with tonight, what would it be?
I mean, I would say to decide kind of what you said, and I love that they're already saying decide. I would say decide right now, this month, if you're going to run, if you're going to coast, or if you're going to go backwards. And put it out there and say, okay, I'm going to, and fill in your blank. Say, I'm going to run. I'm going to coast, because you got to show up to work. Even by like working, that's just what you have to do to maintain. Like, you got, so you can coast by just like doing your minimal and kind of maintain. But if you want to run, you got to set some goals, get your team setting goals, link arms, and run. Coast, okay, or you're just not going to do anything. Yeah, you're going to go backwards. And I would say decide, and just know whatever this decision is right now, how you're starting this month is how you're going to finish it. And so, let's start right now. It's the 9th. Decide, how are we going to finish this month? What are we going to do? Because if you don't ever really start it, you have those months where you just kind of, then it ends and you're like, what did I do this month? So decide. I would say decide. That's what I'd say.
Love it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night. I hope you'll have a super great night, guys. Thank you so much for showing up to this. And I just can't wait to see who finishes August and crushes this month. Bye, guys. Good night.